Now we're given logarithmic forms, right? Logarithmic form, we've got to convert it to the corresponding exponential form. So we can do this as long as we remember that logarithms are exponents. I'll put that in there. All right, if we know this, we can probably get through every one of these problems here. Our first problem tells us that the logarithm, base 3 of x is 2, but what's the logarithm? Up here, logarithms are exponents. So if you just read what we have here, it says what? The logarithm is the exponent. So I know the exponent is 2, and exponents go on bases. Now the base is the number that's dropped down there. So that 2 is going to become an exponent on the 3, so why don't we just write that? And I'll write it in a reasonable color. How about 3 to the 2 is the x? And since we're asked to solve for x, we could just carry this one step further. How about x is 9? We've got it. Let's solve for x in 27. We're told that the logarithm, base 5 of x is 3. Let's get it out of log form and put it into exponential form. We know that logarithms are exponents. The exponent here is negative 3. That goes on a base, which is 5. So we're going to have 5 to the negative 3. That's x. But now let's convert this, right? 5 to the negative 3, that's 1 over 5 to the positive 3, which is x. So let's say that x is 1 over, now 5 cubed is 125. So 1/25. 31. Log base 8 of 2 is x. So let's convert it from log form to exponential form. So we know the logarithm is the exponent. So the exponent here is x. That's going to go on that base. So this is going to be 8 to the x is equal to 2. Now here's what we have going on here. You know, if I pick a number 1 or bigger, 8 to a number bigger than 1 or bigger, that's going to be bigger than 8. But now this number is smaller. So this number here can't be bigger than 1. It's going to have to be a fraction. So what do you know about, like, what root? If it's a fraction, it's a root, right? If it's a fraction, it's a root. So what root do you know? What would you do here? What root would you take of 8 to get 2, right? We just have to make an educated guess here. What root would you take of 8 to get 2? Turns out it's the cube root of 8 is 2. So the cube root, that is just 8 to the 1/3. So we're going to get x equals 1/3 here. So I'll just say this kind of quickly again, but if you have a number, if you start with some number and raise it to a power of 1, you get exactly that number. If you raise it to bigger than 1, this result is going to be bigger than this number. But our number over here is smaller, so this number has to be smaller than 1. So what you have to think of, if it's a fraction, smaller than 1, it's probably a fraction. So that's a root. So what root of ray 8 would you take to get 2? Well, you have to know your roots, square roots and cube roots. So this would be a cube root.